Hello, it's Trevor from Mementos, and guess what? Nobody asked for this one. I just wanted to make it myself. Okay, so the supreme villainy of Cameron Tucker. Some people have been wondering, is the comparison to the Grand Duke of Owls video, the supreme villainy of the Grand Duke of Owls, was that intentional? And the answer is yes, showing that both the Duke and Cameron Tucker are some pretty awful people that should be treated the same. So how did this thing come to be? Well, when Modern Family first came out, my parents loved it, and I think around season 2 they decided to show it to me. While I was pretty young at the time, I think maybe 7th grade, much like the last video, I realized, hey, this is a great show, and I decided to stick with it all the way up until season 7. See, at season 6, I started to realize that things started to falter. Now that I'm a little bit older, I realize that that actually started in season 5, of course. But season 6 was when the major issues started to happen. And one of the biggest things I noticed in season 6 was Cam. Man, it just got bad, didn't he? Started being abusive to Mitchell. He became more deceitful, arrogant, just dangerous in general. And as the seasons went on, it got worse and worse. At season 7, I decided, okay, I'm gonna stick with the show, not because I like it anymore, I can't give up on it because I love it so much, and maybe it'll be good again. It never quite reached the levels of seasons 1 to 4. Now, I never really expected that, because obviously a show can never just magically refine the glory days, especially when they've kind of run out of ideas. But even when the show started to get a little bit better in season 10, Cam always got worse. And whenever I'd watch the episodes with my family, without fail, I'd always complain about Cam. His actions, his behavior, the storylines around him, it drove my dad nuts. And, you know, I've been bottling that up forever, and I wanted to talk more about it on, say, a video on my old review series TV Talks, but I never quite got around to it. The closest I got was talking about the worst episode of the show, All Things Being Equal. Still hate that one. But then when Mementos came around, Billy and I were talking about, for I think it's the 3,000 subscriber special, doing a video on Modern Family and its overall decline. This was mostly fueled by me and my pent-up rage as a fan of the show. And one of the parts that seemed to resonate with the most people was Cam. Apparently they too had felt the same things I had felt for all those years. Cam was evil, and he never got called on it, at least not in any ways that stuck. And with that, I was vindicated. I felt happy for a while, because I realized for a while. But then I realized that wasn't enough. Cam needed some more exposure. I wanted to get a little bit more in-depth than I did in the Modern Family video, because with that, it was about an hour's worth of content, and it spanned all the problems throughout the course of the show. This time, I wanted to give Cam a little bit of extra focus as, I guess, a big note of finality, a send-off to the grand villain that is Cameron Tucker. It got more nitty-gritty into why they made him bad, gave a few more examples of what exactly he's done, and once again, people agreed. Some people even pointed out that, according to them, Cam was always the worst character in the show, because he would always do selfish and nasty things. While yes, I do agree that a lot of Cam's actions previously were not necessarily the best, he was at least still a good person overall, and like I said before in the other videos, he'd either apologize or get what's coming to him by the end. That didn't happen at the end of the show. And yeah, there is that teaser at the end where I promised to cover another Modern Family character, and I know it's been over a year and I still haven't done it. Wait till 2024, okay? Don't you worry. So, believe it or not, the Modern Family Cameron Tucker thing was actually also the remnants of another project that Billy and I were going to do together. But due to him eventually leaving Mementos, and before that his cluttered schedule, or I guess busy schedule rather, because I had the same thing, we didn't have enough time to pull it off. and it was going to be reviewing every episode of Modern Family season by season. There were two reasons why we didn't progress, aside from the schedule bit, of course. The first one being that we didn't know how much we could get out of it, because a lot of the episodes are good in the same ways and bad in the same ways, and we felt like we'd be repeating ourselves at the end. And two, we didn't know if there'd be enough of an audience for Modern Family content. Granted, the first video did really well, but I think that was because of the shock or the, I guess, novelty of it all. Cameron Tucker at first did okay. Now it's doing quite well. So, maybe there will be time for the other character I mentioned. But yeah, we were gonna do that every episode of Modern Family thing, but then when that got scrapped, I took all the notes I was going to use to address Cam throughout that series and put it in that video, so I guess you could say it's leftovers from what could have been. To this day, while it's not regarded as, say, an all-time classic on the channel or one of our best, it's consistently one of the most popular and most agreed with videos on the channel, which can be kind of hard to come by on YouTube with people just begging to disagree with you. So yeah, that's the story, the supreme villainy of Cameron Tucker. What'd you think? And what video do you want to see covered next on Behind the Scenes? Comment below and let me know, because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say.